Ready to take off?
I'm ready to go.
All right. So
Look at
this is pretty sci-fi. I love it. It's kind of like being on a spaceship.
It is like being on a spaceship.
It's a spaceship to the future.
It's nice because I can't see you.
I can't even hear you. So it's great. I love this podcast already.
That's perfect.
No, don't put your feet there. Come on. Do I have to,
right.
I always have to watch out.
I know.
Sean,
I have no manners. No manners whatsoever.
We are at the end of day one, but you know, is it really day one?
Is there any days? I don't know.
Day 2, 3.
It's just one big long day of many hours
week.
for me.
Yeah, but it's good.
It is good.
Didn't feel too stressful.
No.
People are nice, all of them.
It's amazing how many people we've seen and met that we've only exchanged emails with.
Right.
It's quite something. I mean, people walk up and they,
hey,
we've been online with you.
Yeah, you look younger on TV. You look skinnier on TV.
I look skinnier and
too.
younger.
I know.
That's right.
I look better at the radio.
I'm funnier on TV too.
I look great on radio. I'm like fantastic.
Face
no,
for
Sean,
radio.
really. I mean, let's be honest. I don't want to go on and on because we already had a lot of podcasts, a lot of webcast, video, walk around. But anything that really stuck in your mind and for RSAC Conference 2025 so far?
So, I think I'm trying to think. There was one thing about the CISO role that. Here's what I'll say. I had this conversation off camera many times actually in the last couple of days. That there's a security conference. We tend to not talk about risk a lot. It is connected to some degree. We had a chat with Tim Brown about the personal risk of the CISO role, and the reason I'm mentioning that is the conversations I've had and the things that I've heard are around CISOs not necessarily being open to taking undue risk. Meaning, don't change things too much, meaning don't explore new technologies too much, meaning don't take the calls from the newer vendors. Basically just close out anything that's not already part of your organization, and only, what I'm hearing is that a lot of the CISOs only connect with each other to determine what next for their programs, for their business, and may not open themselves up to learning new exposures, new ways of looking at risk, new ways of tackling the problems they have. And I'm not in any way saying look at every vendor on the show floor, and I'm not in any way saying open yourself up to more hours than you have available, making your life more uncomfortable. But what I'm hearing is from some CISOs that they're actually opening their mind to new ways of looking at the problem. Because, and I think especially with AI and some of the new technologies around AI and the amount of data that's available and the way to interact with that data, it's becoming less transactional, perhaps. And you can have a different relationship with your security program, different relationship with your security team, different relationship with your security infrastructure.
But you're not saying they're close to new technology. They just want to get the new technology from the usual vendor? I mean,
so
what I'm
hearing is new technology from an existing vendor, new technology from a new vendor. I think the general stance has been don't take calls from vendors.
That's not good news for vendors.
Which also means don't go out of your way to understand the problem that they see that perhaps you may have, that perhaps you should be looking at. Not because you now need to add another tool and get more budget to do it, but I did have this conversation on record on a podcast where if you actually think differently about how your program is running and use the tools that are available now, specifically AI, you might change your mindset and you might not need to do some of the things you're doing right now. Because you think of it differently, you approach it differently, different technologies that you're not using might help you achieve the real goal versus the one you're
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
That's the question.
It sounds a little fucked up to me.
No, because they only have so many hours in the day, and they don't want to get a cell phone call at 6 o'clock at night when they're having dinner with their kids and spouse.
Right. Well, makes sense.
And so I think that the general is, I'm not going to do that. I'll turn to my CISO community for some of this information. I don't know the CISO community. What I'm hearing this week, I don't know that you can get all of the information from a closed group. I think some CISOs are saying they need to,
especially if everybody is doing the same thing to be close to new thing, that is a big issue for the industry. But it's hard for me to believe, and I'm just playing devil's advocate because.
And I'm only trying to communicate what I'm hearing, and I'm not in that role, and
at the same time, I'm here, and 42,000 people, maybe more, RSAC Conference. There is Sandbox.
Yep.
There is the villages. There is the competition for the startup. So, and I see a lot of, and I hear a lot of new things, both from small startup to the biggest ones. So it's if they crash into a mindset like this, there is a lot of innovation that is going to be stopped. But maybe, and I know you're the one to talk with the CISO, but are the CISO usually the one to make the decision on the vendors to?
Well, that was the other point. And this was I had the conversation with Philip Miller, and that recording's coming. That episode will be out. He said, I'm open to have these conversations as a CISO, but I also really want the vendors to talk to my team.
Well, that
so
makes more
I want to
sense.
be open, and I'm happy to take a call, happy to see a demo, but I really need you to connect with my team.
Right, that makes sense.
And I guess that what the whole kind of bring it full circle is my expectation or understanding is the vendors are trying to reach the top through the CISO. It's too much for them. The blanket response is don't bother me. What's missing is you really need to talk to my team and then the vendors actually do need to connect with the team and not just try to race to the top. I think that's kind of the gist of.
Okay, well that's a different picture.
Yeah.
It's actually.
But because of the way that's working,
that goes to him.
I feel, and I think Philip also said this, that because of the way that functions, the openness to new things gets shut down very easily.
Okay, because the system is now built.
The system doesn't support.
It's not built for that.
Doesn't support that.
Well, that's great.
So the conference is a place to do that exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe wear a badge that doesn't say I'm a CISO, and then go look at or send the teams. And I think that's another thing is companies budgeting for the security teams to come to these events,
and
not
to
just
take
the
initiative.
So
in a way, it could be a blessing in disguise, because it opens the system to think differently with more people involved in the decision-taking process, and that could be a good thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Now,
there you go.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
So, we went to the DARPA challenge yesterday morning. We had the nice little tour on the little train.
Yeah, we got the train ride with the.
Yeah, that now I understand why they didn't want me to bring my coffee on it, because I would spill it all over.
Yeah, leave your coffee
all over
out.
the places. But so then we recorded that. There is a pigeon flying here, and it's not going to go well. So then we published that, which I invite people to see, because we had an amazing
really
tour. We were in for half an hour, I guess, something like that. And then, of course, you wrote your piece.
Right.
looking at things from your cybersecurity, security perspective, and I looked at it from my societal perspective. And I'm connecting it with what you said, which is, I just published it, so go read it, Musing on Society and Technology, where I'm wondering if half of our brain is moving forward with technology, maybe took the time machine, but left the other half of the brain in the past or in the present, because
a lot in that.
It's the lot, like technology moves so fast, bureaucracy doesn't, regulation unfortunately doesn't. Great conversation with the European community yesterday, and Professor Luigi Martino from the University of Florence. And I think we're all there. We need some regulation, we need the guardrails, but we need to leave freedom. But again, the technology brain goes really, really fast. Our society is not adapting that fast. Some people miss the train, talking about the train, and
guest appearance.
Okay. That's very good.
You're all good.
That's all right. And so I'm connecting to the fact that sometimes you need to get to kind of an impasse on how things work to kind of rethink it and maybe have a more agile government, a more agile regulation, a more agile CISO team in the decision making, so that we can keep up and take the best of our innovation and put it at a service for our society, instead of having this tug of war between we're going too fast. The horse was John Sapp.
Oh, that's right. John
Sapp, the horse already left really fast. We don't even know where it is. And now you want to regulate it, talking about AI. That was a pretty clear message. So,
and what did I say? Your horse can't win if it's disqualified because it has no jockey. Like you run the race, you're the fastest, but it doesn't matter.
So again, it's a very important pivotal moment for our society, where we need to learn how to live with a technology that years ago it would take 20 years for a new piece of technology to really make advances, and now it's just like, whoa, wait a minute.
Here's what I'm hearing, and as we talk about this, there's so many things. Your view of it through your article, looking at the future and the past and wanting to move forward but being stuck. I think in the DARPA thing they talked about all these legacy technologies that are now online, that are now exposed and vulnerable and can be compromised.
And they know, but they can't change it fast enough.
I know.
Because they don't have the budget, the government, the agencies.
There is a desire, but they're stuck.
That was my point.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking in the CISO role, you don't want to make a decision that puts you in front of the SEC, right?
I guess not.
And so therefore you want to, we're a risk-driven, even though I said we don't talk about risk much, we certainly are a risk-driven profession. We think with risk in mind, and the security team is often called the Department of No. And this is the epiphany I'm having this conversation, is that we're telling ourselves no.
Exactly.
And I think we've had this conversation too of the security program. Well, I've had it on my show anyway, that it's time for security to have innovation and not just support the innovation of the business.
The concept.
So transform the way we think about security,
culture.
Transform the way we deploy security, transform the way we measure it, transform the way it supports the business. And we just had a chat with Richard Searson.
So that goes for the company security, but also for the city security, for the federal security, government security, organization, and even the home security, our own home. Like, it's the same thing. We're talking today with our good friend Chris Pearson from, thank you for sponsoring us, great friend. But the point is, empowering a system that you can feel safe at home as well, not just in the place where you work. And so, again, see, it's an all culture we need to change. And it's not easy because our brains still think like we're, in the prehistoric, something is happening, we need to go and get food, store food. because of freaking out. Fear.
What did we say last year?
Fear.
Who was here last year? What did we say?
Last year?
The monster.
Frankenstein.
It created itself. Itself.
It's that AB. What was it?
Abby
maybe
normal.
that's that brain I'm talking about.
Abby normal, yeah.
No, but it is the Frankenstein. It's still here, man.
It is still here.
It's still here.
It has extra arms this year. A couple extra spaces.
It's because AI has put like an extra finger.
Well, there's that statue.
The statue.
Remember with the multiple arms? Yeah, it's kind of weird. But
all right, here's
listen,
the thing.
I probably said a bunch of stuff CISOs are going, what are you on about? You don't know what you're talking about. I don't. I'm not a CISO. I know what I've heard a bit. I'm trying to analyze it. I'm trying to communicate what I think I heard. I would really love to hear more thoughts on this.
Yeah.
So if you have thoughts, share in the comments.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty
confident. If you want to have a
in what I
conversation,
say.
I'm open to that as well.
I'm confident in what I say because I'm a human.
You are human.
Therefore, I think like I see what the humanity and the way I feel about.
Well, I'm trying to relate what I'm hearing anecdotally from others.
I know. You have it a little harder than me because you're dealing with what is really at the core of the conversations here. I can go in there and be like philosophical, sociological, whatever you want. But the point is, we're thinking.
There's a point.
We're thinking, and I'm not going against what you say.
I think about this stuff.
But we kind of bring a different perspective to the table, and I think we make ourselves better as a society because of that. Yeah. Maybe we'll sit down again tomorrow and have another conversation
different
inspired by what we talk about tomorrow.
I'm seeing a bunch of CISO friends tonight, so maybe I'll get some direct input if they want to share with me on record. But
sounds good. Sounds
we'll
good, man. You know what? I'm gonna see if I see one of those cars that drive itself.
Are you?
Yeah.
And then what?
And then I'm gonna show it on camera.
All right.
And then I'm gonna take it. And then I'm gonna have dinner. Oh, really? Okay, you guys.
I don't see a Waymo.
People,
right.
Stay tuned with us. I hope you enjoy what the content.
Silliness, thoughtfulness. I think about this stuff. I'd love to hear what you think as well.
Wouldn't want to be you.
What's that?
I wouldn't want to be you thinking about that stuff.
I know, exactly.
I mean,
there are other things. I think about music too. I love music.
All right, stay tuned. What is it, Sean?
ITSPmagazine.com
ITSPmagazine.
/RSAC 25. Stay tuned.